we are back. So lesson 2 is a similar approach to GBP USD to USD CAD. Alright, so how to understand this higher time frame. This is a 3-month chart, quarterly chart once again, September the 23rd, 2019. What is going on at the moment? GU died, boom, over here, 1.2. Critical region. You can see where the crosshair is. This current 3 month, this current quarter, we spiked into the region. Look backwards, look here. Again, 1-2, tweezer bottom, relief rally. If you look at this on a quarterly perspective, GU can now actually start to really fucking reverse and come into 1.4. Okay, because that's the higher boundary, more or less. If you look at the wicks there as well, whatever. Just a general overview of where the next quarter will take the price, and will we reverse or will we continue? We have tweezer top, bearish engulfing, drags price back down, and you can clearly see 4.2, maybe 1.4, whatever. Can't really grasp too much of a psychological level standpoint on the quarterly because it's so widespread. You can't just pinpoint it to one price element. But 1.2 I know from the lower time frames, because that was one of my targets on a trade 3 weeks ago. That was a definite shout, and you can see here 1-2, and it's a definite nice round number as to where price, if GU falls below that, it's game over. But we can actually reverse from this now as well. So we had 1, 2, 3, okay, 3, 6, 9 months where it consolidated for a while. Didn't really know what to do. We have an inside bar right here. Important because I'm going to go into this on the daily lessons. Inside bar is where, again, this is why it's one of my favored candle formations, because it paints a clear picture as to what price is doing. So the inside bar is 2 candles, 1, 2. You can see the high and the low. This is also in the Astrofx book, and you can see that the secondary candle, the one of focus, is inside the wick 1, wick 2 remains inside the first one. It's quite straightforward. I don't know what page of the book it's on in Astro, but I am going to be covering it in further detail afterwards. But we can see the inside bar was formed, so the consolidation, the build-up was more or less in between the high and low of the previous 3 months. With that being said, price broke out, tested the low of 1-2, and now it's more or less in. Look at price now. We're back in that inside bar where the crosshair is. Look at that. So that tells me that there's 2 things that could happen. If we could spike again to make a new low, so we have to be very, very careful when we're shorting sterling, or we can just, boom, whip in the opposite direction. We can maybe even contain price above that region in the next 7 to 10 days, let September finish, and then boom, price removes itself from the low area and then continues to maybe, I don't know, what can it do? It can maybe range. So we have this boom, smash, liquidity, boom, boom, boom. We can maybe then start to range in between 1 and 2 and up the highs of 1-4. That's a good 2,000 pips. But again, it doesn't really matter where a currency is going to be in the next 6 months or 12 months to make money. Great if you're a fundamentalist and you want to try to hold something, all the best in doing so. But we don't need to know that for the methods of trading that we're going to be applying. It's intra-week and intraday. More so, but this is just good for educational purposes, and it's also good to see where the next quarter may lie and where the price could maybe run into. So I favor a reversal into Christmas, and we can maybe pop up. I don't know where to, but we're going to break that down on the lower time frame. So again, this is just a scope. This is just a scope. We don't need to draw any analysis on here. We don't need to get. If you want to, you could maybe put an annotation here, 1.2, and explain to yourself what's happened. Save the chart, put it in a folder. You know, I used to sit at the charts for 12 hours a day, reading fucking indicators and all this bullshit. I've literally been through all of it. You guys don't need to do that. I'm breaking it down in simplistic fashion for you, time frame by time frame. Looking at the month, now this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So here, this is the monthly. We have the spikes into, and put the cross out at 1.2, boom, boom, boom. And then here where the bodies are, we have 1.22. 1.22. If you look at how price breaks down, tests 1.2, and if I put the crosshair at 1.22 where the bodies of these candles are, you can see that current price is a back above that. So this could be like a large double bottom, but all it's displaying on this double bottom formation, quote unquote, is that where this massive drop and this fucking volume spike came into the market, ding, this area was done. So money again went from A to B, and money is now released, relief, boom, relief, release, and then back maybe to the upside. So again, it just takes, if you have the candle, let me just switch over just so I can give you an example. Look at this. For me, it's harder than reading black and white. It just takes an element away. I mean, maybe because I'm just trained for it now, but for me, it just like, it becomes a little bit more confusing. So, boom, back to SCAT. I can clearly see where the bodies are, clearly see where the round numbers are, and that's the focus on the bigger time frames to give us that edge as to where the market can go. What we can see over here now, if I line the crosshair up with those bodies, 1, 2, we can see the spike, 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 spike. It becomes more evident that 1.4200 right there is where the reaction is coming from. Excuse me. That's a huge reaction zone. Price thrusts into that level, consolidates, okay, pull back, boom, shooting star. Price breakdown. Look at these bodies. Look at where the price breaks down, break through, and then you can see clearly what happened. Very, very messy on the monthly, intraday, having lots of fun, but the monthly a little bit shitty. What I do expect on this is a price rebound into 4.2, and maybe we can get that recovery. We can maybe get a recovery into 4.2 on the month. But again, I'm not going to be annotating anything on that. I'm just speculating, if you will. And this is where it gets interesting. Messy as fuck. I'm sorry if I swear a lot, by the way. It's just how the market shaped me. I'm just joking. My vocab needs some tightening. Now, 1.2. I know that is the key level here, so it's very, very straightforward. The more you follow certain currency pairs, the more these levels become like, it's just so easy and simple because you know where prices reacted recently. You have to live this out. This has to become like the membrane of your blood, of your blood cells. The hemoglobin, the Forex world. Live it, breathe it, die for it. So 1.2, I don't really need to go any lower than that. There isn't really actually a level lower than 1.2, is there? Look at that. Whoa. Deal with that when we come to it. Higher tier, if I just go back to GA, right? GA higher tier weekly, we actually use the previous week's high there, right there, because we see the spike, 8,500. GU, very, very similar. If I just go in and just have a play around, don't be scared to try. You can see Born reaction, and then here 2585, nearing 2800, 2600. Sorry, I've gone through so many numbers today. We can actually clearly define the range that we're in. Now, PA, where PA is concerned, price action. Weekly on sterling, it's a mess. Like, I mean, if you try to apply general candlestick formations to this, again, it's a hit and miss. I would say 60%. Loss of directional bias and success, and 40% overall success because of its, look at it, it's just a mess. It's a complete mess, and it has been for a while. So sterling in particular, and even GA, if we go back to GA, we just want to keep it short and sweet with the most recent and relevant areas of price. If we do break above this, again, we do have to be prepared for the next level in particular. Now, if I just look back in time, I know that from this drop of hell over here, we actually bottomed out where the wick is, right there. And then we consolidated, and then we had another drop of hell. And what was that again? I can't remember what that was, but I was watching it, I remember. I think it was Brexit. It's Brexit things getting long. All right, so 2728. If I look across, yeah, cool, great. What I would do though is probably just maybe, 2.8's fine. 2.8's fine. So on this GBP USD weekly, I only really need 3 levels. One is the most recent area, spike straight into, and we can see the clear price rejection. Obviously 1.2 because it's a critical number. That breaks. Pound, see you later. I'm moving out of England. And if we break the upside, we go into 2.8. Easy. Easy. you don't need to go into any more detail with that one. So I'm going to go over to USD CAD. I hope that made sense. What I'm now looking at though on that weekly time frame is again similar to GA. Well, GA's got the daily. Look at GA daily PA. So if you look at the PA on the daily on GBP AUD, we have the 3 pin 1, 2, and 3. We have the wick that's now being covered, and if I transfer that over to, it's the same, it's similar. It's not the same, but it's a similar pattern. But GBP USD here we have weekly. GA is daily. So the low of that wick, I know it's probably a daily level. On the next video, you know, from lesson 1 to lesson 4 is weekly daily analysis, plotting, organization. All right, so just hold your horses and just be patient. Once you have all of those lessons done and you have your notes compiled, things will make a little more sense. Now, that zone, the low of the previous week here, 2391, more or less 2400, 23 pips away. If that is covered and the price breaks down, I am then looking for 1.2 to maybe test it again. But we cross that bridge when we come to it. For you foreigners out there, some of the terms I'm using are quite English terms. I'll have to try to be more conscious of who's in the room, in case you don't really understand me. Upside, if we do have a boost to the upside and we take out that wick, again we need this level to break. Market will then be pushed into these highs. Okay, and obviously we'll track it on lower time frames. But it's just a general perspectives. It's an overview, it's a template. All right. Now we'll come back to this afterwards. Let's break down dollar CAD. All right, USD CAD, messy as hell. You can see price action on the weekly is all over the place. We can see prominent highs, boom, liquidity just forced into the market there, A to B. Lot of messy, choppy. This is retracement. I actually thought this was going to fulfill a fib, A, B, C, D, but it didn't. All right, so let's start with the quarterly. Quarterly, September 23rd. What we can see is we have this big ass high up here, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, and then we have the lows, spike low, previous, before. So we have 1, 2, then we have test, test. It's more or less. Let's look at that in comparison to gold. That, and then we have that. Similar, we're in a range. Gold is a lot more volatile, and you can see where, you know, the price has been a lot more erratic in the fashion of taking out those highs. Here we just have more or less sideways PA. Nothing too special, but looking at the quarter, okay, what I would scan right here is just put my crosshair on the base of those two bodies and bring it across. 1.2916, we are above that, but we also have the bodies here, let's say 1.38, and as you can see we have significant high, lower high, lower high. Looking at this is the area, this is the most recent and relevant area, which is, you know, my brain is attuning to right now in regards to structural key area in which if USD CAD remains below, we are going to fucking roll over. Okay, so we have 1.3650, beautiful psychological level. As long as we are below that, it's quite straightforward. We are probably going to reverse, come back down, test these lows. So for me, the bias on USD CAD from a quarterly perspective is actually short. Ta-da. All right, so coming into the monthly, matching that up to the quarterly. All right, so 3 pin, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, we don't trade on the monthlies, we don't trade on the 3 month, we don't trade on the weeklies. Trades are only going to be placed daily, 4 hour, hourly, 15 minute. FYI. Has this popped up yet? Come on, son. What I'm looking for here quickly, just to show you, is the low that it's making right now. I'm looking for, so we have this area, we have the spike. I'm looking for the hourly time frame to take out these wicks here, because we have two regions, two ranges. One, boom, down to here. If I just draw this on, and very, very brief, just watching this for long. but we have this supportive 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we have 1.8350, which the price is lying on right now, and I just know that it can, boom, come out and give us 100 pips as a decent move. We're going to the 15-minute. 15 minutes providing base low, base low, base low, pull back into more or less mid-region, mid-range. That in itself can be a trade setup, and we can go ahead and dice this motherfucker to, okay, boom, break to the upside. We can actually get in before with this like entry 1, entry 2 scale, and we can run this for a nice 100 pips. If not, we can roll over and break and whatever, but it's 6 o'clock, so no trades are going to be placed as of yet. But what I will say, I'll give you some rules on GA, is that you can wake up to the trade the Asian session. I wouldn't recommend it on any other currency pair apart from GBP AUD and obviously AUD USD, but this can start to move in Asia perhaps, so we'll check back on that afterwards. Anyway, getting sidetracked. Alright, bang, one significant high into a lower high, into a lower high, into a lower high. Oh, can this be another lower high? What we can also see here from candlestick knowledge and recognition is that 3-6 key rallies into 3-6, bang, snap back, see you later, trap. Over here, where the crosshair is, bringing it all the way across. Again, guys, get used to doing this on the monthly. The crosshair is a beautiful thing when you know what you're looking for. It just keeps everything so simple and precise. I was getting ridiculed for using the crosshair. Anyway, across 3-6 has kept the level. So 3-6 on the weekly is probably going to provide us with an area to place one of the horizontal lines, okay? Note. I used to write so many notes, journaling. I'll have a notepad. I'll have you know, my annotations here as well, so you could write all of this on the chart, which I'm explaining. I do recommend it because what you need to do is program your subconscious. A lot of the stuff, you know, a lot of you may agree with what I've gone through so far. You have to go through all of the material to appreciate and understand where I'm coming from. But a big thing in the game of Forex and charting is deprogramming the bullshit in which we picked up so far, and then we have to reprogram. It's just a long process. But the journaling, what I'm trying to get at here, the moral of the story is that the journaling, the taking time, chart by chart, keeping it organized, print it off if you will, and watching how repetition, okay, and journaling and taking pride in your work actually programs your mind, and one day it just clicks. Over time, like shit, you know, a few months. I'll give all of these tips later on in the psychology videos to a greater depth. But yeah, journal, write down what you see on the chart, even if it's candle formations, spikes, the psychological levels, anything. Just go hard, and then you'll see after a few months, your first few months might look a little bit shit, but the current month looks amazing. That's progress overall. So again, just get stuck in. Just don't be pussyfooting around. You cannot do this half-hearted. So anyway, what we see is a breakdown in price here. Market comes back into the region, taps 3-6 now, comes shy of 3-6, and then again price is whipped back down. So the price is actually breaking down here. Not so much here. It's a bit laxy-daisy. Over here it's breaking down. So what I would suggest is keeping that in mind, 3-6 for the weekly. What I'm looking at now on the week becomes a little bit more clearer to me. I don't need to go all the way back in time because the 3-month and the monthly has just cleared up a lot. Right, recent lows, we obviously have this zone, okay, because we can see price rallies in, price rallies out. Price rallies in, we can see the big ass drop. So you have 1.3550. So instead of me placing the, actually, you know what, I'm just going to place it at the wick, screw it. What I've now broken down is the, it's kind of looks similar to GA on the weekly. So look at this. So we had the high here, the low here. On USD CAD, we had the high here and we have the low here. We have this massive range, but we're also ranging in between. We obviously have that level, the top of the wick. So here, price was getting exhausted, wick, 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 wick. And then this candle, huge shooting star, if I was to quickly go and show you, color, can you see that? Boom, shooting star. So the momentum shifted. it's going to have an issue if it really wants to go and try to breach that zone. Momentum shifted. So what I'm trying to express here, if you look at the pattern, is momentum shifts after spiky behavior, reaches higher, shifts. Spiky behavior, reaches higher, shifts. Can you see this shift here? We had a pullback afterwards, and then we shift again, because we are now probably waiting for some fundamentals to arrive, maybe even non-farm payroll, in a week or so. Whatever it may be, there's always going to be a fundamental catalyst, especially on the higher time frames, for the market to go from price A to price B. And again, I mentioned this earlier on, so please be aware. 20 minutes into the vid. Okay, so going back to color scheme. What I'm now looking for is a rollover, guys. Target 1.3, maybe even lower. If that price point breaks, I will then go in and draw lines to the downside. What I'm personally looking at is, right, so here I can tell that price breaks down on a gap, okay, makes a low, pulls back up. That's a gap right there. So I don't really go for gap lows, I'll go for the previous. So that area there does interest me, 1.2887. If you look to the left as well, it has we have wicks going through that region here and then here. And then below that we have this zone, but we want to kind of keep it, we cross every bridge as we come to it. We don't want to overstretch and be overly ambitious with our price points and targets. The reason why I didn't choose this low here is because, again, I've got experience with CAD and I know that if it's going to roll over, look at the structure. Significant high, and well, we can go all the way back with this one. Significant high is over here, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. But again, if we just focus on PA right here, significant high, lower high, lower high, lower low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're looking at low being taken, so I'm not going to sell myself short by putting a level there, because I know it's going to roll into this zone. And that is more or less that for the week. Let's have a look how this looks on the day, though. On the good old daily, we have fucking hell. Okay, so price breaks down. See this? This is a nice trap. I'll explain why. I remember this. So we had that zone from high to low, significant point to significant point. We consolidated, we broke out, held above it. It was like, nah, but look where it tested. See here, 1.3550. Ran into that, boom, bearish engulfing back into the region and the zone, and then the price breaks all the way through. It's a nice trap, nice trick. But this was consolidation. It was USD CAD, by the way, guys, is a sideways currency pair. FYI, for your information. If we take this box and we copy and paste it and we bring it over here, look what happens. Same again. Price comes in, breaks through, comes back into the box. Price breaks up. What does it break up into? Another 50 level. It's same shit over and over again. 3,350, 3,550, meltdown, retracement, meltdown, retracement. Then we can go in and sling on a good old fib. So we have A down to B. Didn't reach the 61. Not interested in the other levels. Really don't care. A into B, look what we have. We have the 61, and this region has been tested. So, yeah, we are looking for a rollover in USD CAD, and that there, just those patterns and just that behavior. Again, if we had the colors on there, okay, let me switch over one more time. It's confusing. Can you not see this? Can you not see this? You know, I can deal with this. Don't get me wrong, but we're trying to take it to the next level psychologically. So there you go. So I'm focused on the wicks, psychological levels, key areas, key points. I can see zone, zone. So now what I'm looking for is a similar breakdown. Go ahead, duplicate that, and then look where it leads into. Look at that, guys. And this is just basic level 1. We haven't even got into the good stuff yet. This is just like projection, understanding quarterly views, understanding monthly views, understanding weekly views, then going into the day and seeing what fits, and seeing just by glancing at the chart, clean as hell, what patterns our mind can actually pick up. But again, it comes with practice. It comes with so much practice. that you do get to a point where you can see, okay, cool, this is going to go there instinctively. 25 minutes into the video. All right, so that's that. Great. I hope you are learning so far from this. And then, yeah, so next video, 25 minutes. I'm going to cut this now. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into lesson 3. Lesson 3 is GBP, AUD, and gold daily breakdown. And then I'm going to go into lesson 4, coming back to GU, back to USD CAD, daily breakdown, and clearing some things up, gaining more clarity on the charts, and intermediate intra-week targets. Intraday stuff will come later on. All right, so thank you.